It's Thursday.
Hello.
I have beer.
Yay.
Oh,
Nice.
I have beer salt.
Oh yeah. I still haven't tried that.
What? You gotta get some of this right here.
Yeah.
Beer salt, lime flavored. It's delish.
Do you approve,
Oh.
Tyler?
It's
Mr.
required when you drink Miller or Michelob Ultra, whatever it is.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I'm drinking tonight.
Yeah.
The Ultra.
Nice. Not for
Yeah.
your super fancy beers though, right? Tyler?
No,
No. Yeah.
no.
Don't add salt to a beer that costs more than $4 a beer.
Dude. But the current rate of inflation, it won't take very long. This will be
Right?
$4 a beer.
No kidding.
Actually, Ultra is really expensive compared to the Miller Lite.
It is.
It's like I'm gonna say it's like 25 to 30% more expensive.
And it's
Which is-
made by Budweiser, so they're happy to
makes
take
no
your money.
sense.
If you don't drink Bud Light, they're gonna take your money drinking ultras. So
I guess so. Anyway, hello everyone. It is Thursday, and Gabe bought a new vehicle.
Woohoo! It's not a Ferrari. I see JS spotted it. I finally got a hauler for my toys. Got a truck.
So is it what is it?
It's a 2021 F-150 XLT with the 3.5 liter EcoBoost, which is a nice stout little engine, medium size. It's got 50,000 miles. So
That's nothing. On
nothing.
Yeah,
It was
for a
in
truck.
really good condition, like paint, interior, exterior.
So it's the XLT, so you got like a nice leather interior and everything.
It doesn't have leather, but
Oh.
which I don't care. But it's got the big screens. It's got the 302A like package,
Ooh, yeah.
which has like 360 cameras, like enough technology. It's great.
Does it have a tow package?
It does. Has a
So
tow
you got
package.
the brake controller and everything.
Yep.
Perfect.
Sweet.
It's got this thing like I don't know if it's just Ford. I didn't see it on the other like the
Is it the reverse thing?
yeah the trailer steering
So,
which
It takes a little. I helped my neighbor set that up on his F-150 and his trailer. You have to get these stickers,
yeah yep
and you put the stickers on the trailer's A-frame, and somehow it uses the reverse camera to align the trailer, and you use the little steering wheel, the tiny little steering wheel on the
Little knob.
dashboard.
yep.
Yeah, and it actually works really well.
So you don't have to like reverse your inputs.
So-
No,
Oh, wow.
you just sit there and use the little steering wheel and like look in you look at the reverse camera and you're just like
So what are you doing with your feet with the pedals?
you still
Are-
have to operate the pedals.
Okay.
So
So,
you still
it's
need
just
gas
like
and
in
brake.
place of the
But
steering
you
wheel.
don't touch the steering wheel. It like
Yeah, it moves, right?
it moves the steering. Like I was sitting there like
Wow.
fucking with it. And it was all like like spinning the steering wheel really fast. I was like, whoa,
Crazy.
Yeah, I watched a
It's-
couple of videos of it.
it's pretty cool.
But I don't know, like as someone you've probably backed up trailers for a while. I've
Yeah.
been doing it for now almost 2 years. Like, would you ever use that or
Oh hell no.
no? Yeah.
No, you just learn how to properly back up a trailer
Yeah.
and you're all set.
Once
Like,
you know, you know.
the way to learn to back up a trailer is you just hold it at the bottom of the steering wheel.
Yeah, and move it to the way you want it to go.
So you just instead of holding at the top, hold at the bottom, and then you just think about which way it needs to go from the bottom. So
Yep.
you just flop your whatever, and as soon as you do that, the other thing is you gotta remember like everything in a trailer takes more distance than you think, right? So
Yep.
like if you want the trailer to go left, you have to start turning the truck right to have it
Yep.
go left
Yep.
before you actually need it to turn left.
Yep.
And then you have to stop turning left before you actually want it to stop turning left.
Yeah,
So-
you have to cut it back and switch the other way, and you got to
right.
know when
So
to
you
do
like
that.
it's
Yeah.
like you turn before you turn, and then you stop turning before you stop turning. As long as you start doing that, you kind of. I mean, once you do it, I mean, I've probably done it 10,000 times now. So now I'm just like,
Yeah.
like whatever, no big deal. But actually, the bigger the trailer, the easier it is to back up too.
Yeah, that's true.
because
Short trailers are hard.
You jackknife more easily with the short ones.
Short trailers react really fast.
Right.
Big trailers
Yeah.
take a while.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So-
the last trailer I had to really back up was like my dad's gooseneck for hauling construction equipment around. But that was 25 years ago.
It's been a little while.
All that's gone.
Yeah. It comes
Muscle
back.
memory. Yeah.
It comes back.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But
Yep.
and trailers that are box trailers, like my enclosed trailer, is harder than a exposed trailer because you can't see anything.
Right.
So
Yes, Hugh, we're mansplaining
yes, for man.
trailer maneuvering.
How many drivers that tow a trailer actually use the trailer brake switch? I mean,
Hopefully.
every time I tow, I test it.
Yeah.
You always test it, right? Like you just make sure your trailer brakes are working, and then
Well, and sometimes you have to adjust the bias if your load's heavier or lighter, and
yeah, actually, I've got it down now. Like, so if I have nothing in the trailer, I want the gain at like 4, and it's or sometimes 3.5 or 4, depends if it's like how the weather is. And I don't know. I swear to God, like there's days where the trailer's just like the brakes are really grabby, and there's days where the trailer brakes are like meh. So, and then as soon as you put a car in it, I crank it up to like 4.5 or 5 because I want a little extra oomph.
How about
Like-
do you load different cars in different spots to adjust
yeah.
the tongue weight?
For sure.
And how do you get that right? If it's a new car.
So like I've got tandem axle, so you've got a pretty wide area for the center of mass.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing is so most of the cars we're doing are mid-engine. So I want to make sure that the engine and trans are over the 2 axles as much as possible. That's all I really care.
Okay.
So long as I do that, I'm fine. Actually, what's funny is, so I've loaded all these cars, and you know what was actually so far the easiest car to put in the trailer?
I
The
know this answer.
GT40.
Oh.
Because it's tiny. It was
Should have been
so
the hardest
tiny.
car.
Huh?
What should have been the hardest car was the
It should-
absolute
yeah, I
easiest.
thought so. Like, I was so scared of it because I'm like, oh man, like getting in and out, you can't open the doors all the way, but it positions perfectly to open the door, and the door clears my side escape hatch by like literally a quarter of an inch. So I can open the door fully and actually step in and out of the damn car.
Yep.
It was
Nice.
like, oh, this is perfect. How
Nice.
does my truck and trailer? My truck is a 21, and the trailer was made in 2020. The trailer has like 50,000 miles on it now. My truck has 65,000 miles on it.
Dang.
Yeah. Let's see here. I like this question. Has the 430 hit modern classic status yet, like the 360? I'm considering maybe getting one to enjoy and drive in the future. Is your buyer's guide still up to date? Any parts that are hard to get? I'm gonna leave that up for a second. I mean, I think it's kind of approaching a modern classic. The thing is, it's still modern to me, and I feel like the 360 still got kind of like the old school Ferrari vibe, where it's still timing belts. It's a little bit like less refined than the 430. So I don't know. I would call the 430 a classic yet, but it's getting close. I would say it's the last of an era, right? Like it's still very mechanical. The computers weren't like super advanced, and they don't intervene a whole lot. As far as my buyer's guide, it's still relevant. I do need to do an update, and that's more because it's been, I'm going to say 5 years since I wrote the book, and now I've just learned a lot more that I would like to be able to teach people when they're buying a car. So it's not that nothing in the book is invalid, but there's more I'd like to add to it.
Makes sense.
Time for a version 2.
Yeah, and I actually have thought about this. I've actually started kind of working on it a little bit. But yeah, I need to redo the 430 the 430 and the 458 books that I have. And anyone who's already bought the books, you will get free, like you get updates for life. Like I don't want to charge people again. That's stupid. So,
Nice.
yeah.
I think I won my book before I was a. Wait,
Oh yeah, I did give you a book.
right? I think it was before I knew you, like when I was
Yeah.
still just a viewer. Yep.
I actually haven't done a 360 book. I want to do a 360 book. And then I started and I haven't finished it. I want to do a generic Ferrari buyer's guide book, like just overall.
That'd be
my
cool.
thinking is like if you buy the Ferrari buyer's guidebook, then I'll give you like 50% off a specific model or something like that. Like, you know, 'cause the
Mhm.
books aren't like there to make me money. The books are there to help you. Like I don't, you know, in the course of a year, I might make a couple $100 on the books. I'm not
Mm.
looking like I'm not trying to get rich off the buyer's guides, but I do like the fact that they actually cost money because like you're actually putting skin in the game. You're not just getting some free buyer's guide.
Yep.
Oh, did you ever get a third employee for web and online parts, etc.? I don't know. I call him an employee, but yes, we brought on Nick. Nick is redoing the website, and actually, it's almost done. He's been working pretty hard on it. I would say, well, he was on paternity leave, and he did a lot during that, and now he's off paternity leave, so his time is a little bit less available. But hopefully, we'll have it launched in a couple weeks.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, there is some sort of formula for tongue weight, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're just loading the same car every time, I'm sure it's easy.
Yeah.
You just figure it out once.
I mean, you'll know if you put it too far back.
Sway.
You'll get a lot of sway, and you'll know if you put it
Yeah.
too far forward because the trailer will start dipping, and then your
Squat.
truck will be squatting,
Yeah.
and it'll feel weird. Like it just,
Mm.
you know, like the truck itself will feel weird.
Mhm.
So, 65K is usually when I get a new diesel. Dude, they're not even broken in at 65,000 miles. Like,
It's true though. That new car smell's gone though. So
that is true. Oh, my truck smells like fart now. Like, you know,
I've gladly added to that. So
yeah. I mean, it's been on so many road trips.
Cross
Like,
country road trips.
it definitely smells like man fart. Let's be real. I'm curious as to how many of your subscribers actually own a Ferrari. I would say compared to most YouTube channels, I'm way above average.
yeah. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Josh asked, and there was quite a few people that commented that they own one. Now
Oh yeah, he
they're-
was like, show what cars you have in the
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah.
And I mean, out of 100 people watching, there was 20 Ferrari owners, something
Yeah.
like that. I mean, that's huge.
It is.
Compared to, I mean, 20%. You know, if that extrapolates to the full subscriber base, probably not.
You
But
could do one of
But
those
the diehards.
YouTube polls. I don't
that's
know.
true. I should.
May not be
Of
fully
course,
accurate.
20 people are being honest. But,
I know.
you know,
yeah.
right? Any updates on the 650, Tyler?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Last week, right? I know that update.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, Greg. Rub it in while you can.
Oh, so he knows.
Yeah, he knows. Thankfully,
I
nothing
didn't realize that was
bad.
Greg.
Yeah. Just getting it ready to go on the Ferrari Club Drive last weekend, and there was some oil on the garage floor. So
Ooh.
yeah.
Wah, wah.
Thankfully, nothing's ruined. So
Mm.
you know.
And
getting it
hey,
looked
you
at.
got a cool friend who hooked you up.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you
Yeah,
trace
Dan let me
it?
borrow the Scud, so I still got
Oh,
to go on the.
really?
Yeah.
Damn.
So he's like, hey, do you have a car I could borrow for the drive? I'm like, it was funny because Tyler needs to refresh his manual capabilities.
Yeah. I learned on a tractor, so I don't want to.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Just needs a refresher. That's all.
well, so I'm like looking at what we got, and I'm like, crap, everything's a manual except 2 cars. There's only 2 cars that we have that aren't manual right now: the Scud and Josh's Mercedes SL 500. I'm like, I don't know. And then he's like, I'm like, wait a minute, you're bringing a date, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, he's got to have the Scud then.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on, I'm not
You
gonna
hooked
give
him up,
a-
Dan.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna give him a Mercedes to take a date on. I need to take a Ferrari.
Well, I even said, I was like, I the only thing I can ask you for in a good conscience is the Mercedes, and you're like, nah.
Dude, wait. So that was the How far before the event did you realize? Cause did you have the
That was
date
the day
over your
before?
house?
2 days.
Okay.
It was like 3 p.m. the day before. Yeah.
So what did you tell her?
That we're it's just a changing car.
Changing
Yeah.
plans. We're
Yeah,
taking
all
a
good.
Scud, honey.
Yeah.
I want to go back to. I saw this question: gated 360
Hmm.
coupe versus 0809 430 coupe, non-gated for overall maintenance and collectability. I mean, I wish I could predict the future, right? But I think the 430s are holding better than the 360s generally, but not entirely. I think the gated cars are definitely holding value better than non-gated. So from a collectability standpoint, the gated cars do better than non-gated. And as far as maintenance, technically most of the manuals do better on maintenance because there's less shit to go wrong.
That's true.
So overall, I would say gated cars win over non-gated cars.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
It'll be
Scud
interesting
no,
to see.
Scud's not a manual.
Yeah.
That's why
not
he
a
could
manual.
drive it.
Yeah, it's a flappy paddle manual.
Yeah. Flappy paddle.
It'll be interesting to see if the manual craze ever slows down, or if
I think not, because they're just going
they're
away.
not making them anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Might as well talk about this, right?
I'll get some likes in there first.
Oh yeah,
15
yeah.
on my
Smash
computer.
some like button or something. Wow. So I finally listed the Scud for sale because I just kind of came to the conclusion I want it gone within the next week or two. I'm ready to I need that or the GT40 gone, and there's no buyers for the GT40, so the Scud has to go. So it's purely finances at this point. One of the cars has to go. I'm tapped out financially. I can't afford both cars. I need one to go. So the Scud it is. Anyway, so I list it for sale, and I actually, Josh and I cleaned it up a lot. So we took care of, as of this point, there's only 2 remaining big issues. One, there's a headliner still missing, which Jay is coming tomorrow to do the headliner. So the headliner is going to be resolved. So that leaves one issue left, which is the front paint. And I'm going to argue the paint's good enough that if you didn't want to paint it, you could leave it alone. Like it's people who are pedantic notice it. Regular people aren't going to notice it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, but you answered one of the comments of people like, this car still doesn't have a headliner. Something must be wrong.
oh my God, Jesus. So I posted online, and wow. The number of people who know the price of this thing, know how much, oh my God, you're overpriced, and I can't believe it's that much for a salvage, and blah, 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 blah. Holy crap. There are so many people who do not have actual money commenting on the value of my car.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just horrific bullshit offers. And here's what drives me nuts about it is their stupid low bull crap offers, because they're publicly posting it, are affecting some of the people who are legitimately interested in the car.
Yep.
I have about 10 people who are actually legitimately interested in the car
Wow.
in various states of conversation, right? So my confidence that the car is going to sell within a week is actually pretty high. And it's going to be fairly close to what I'm asking, because of
It
those
should
10 people, I would say there's 10 people who are legitimately interested at 160 or higher. Right? So I'm going to get fairly close to what I'm asking.
Yeah.
My God, these people. So then what happens is these people read those comments and they're like, well, now I'm not sure because everyone's saying it should be worth $125,000. And I'm like,
Yeah.
these people don't have any money.
Yeah. They
That's
just
tough
want
to
a
manage.
Ferrari.
Like, of course they're going to say it's $125,000 because that's all they have. They don't even have that. They have
Yeah.
20 grand.
Yeah. If it was still wrecked, it'd be 125.
Right.
But it drives. You'd never know it was wrecked. I drove it for
Dude,
3 hours Saturday.
It drives perfectly.
Yeah.
It's mechanically perfect.
Yeah.
Mechanically,
drives
it's totally
straight.
sound.
You can't tell. Yeah. The
We
interior
actually
doesn't look like
fixed the
airbags
bumper
went off.
sag. We fixed the bumper sag.
Okay.
So now visually, there's nothing obvious that it was in a wreck.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was like still remaining that kind of looked wonky. Is like you looked at the bumper and it was like kind of skewed a little bit. You're like, eh. So anyway, my God, what a pain in the ass it is to sell this car.
Yeah.
Well, the annoying people, but the people who get it, and they're like, oh yeah, this thing's actually a really good deal. Like, there's a couple people who are like, I have a Scud, and my Scud's worth $300,000, and this one's $100,000+ less. Yeah, this is a great deal.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite was there was a guy who was like, "Oh, why don't you just spend $75,000 more and get a clean title one?" It's like, that's $75,000.
Yeah. That's multiple Miatas.
That's a 360.
Kidding me?
That's
That's 7 Miatas.
Yeah. Right.
yeah, right. I mean, my God. So anyway, there's a couple of interesting trades in the works. Obviously, I'm very open to trades as long as I can make money on it.
Yeah.
Funny enough, a YouTuber with a car has reached out about doing a trade,
Ooh.
and I think we're not going to get there. We're
Oh.
very far apart.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
The trait.
it's
Oh.
Vintra.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw his comment. That's right.
So he's got a 360 that he bought that was,
He's done a lot to it.
I guess it was a piece of shit, and I saw the videos of him when he first got it, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
And he's refreshed it quite a bit and then converted it, but like the problem with that car is it's totally not original anymore.
Yeah, it's
It's
heavy.
got aftermarket seats. It's been monkeyed with, whatever.
Yep. Suspension, wheels.
Yeah. So like, yeah, especially the wheels and everything.
Interior. The whole interior is dyed.
Yeah, he dyed the interior, so
Yeah.
like I'm just like, oh, so like as a dealer, I'm like, that car is not worth that much.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gonna
hard
be
to
a
sell.
very difficult car to sell.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. It's a cool car to own and have or whatever. It is not worth that much money. So he reached out, and of course he saw all those comments. He's like, "Well, it looks like your car's only worth 100 or 125 grand." I'm like, "No, bro, it's not." So he
Oh,
offered me his car plus 50, and I was like, "No, we're really far apart,
Mhm.
really far apart." So I gave him my numbers, and he hasn't responded. He's like, "Wow, that's all right." He said something like, "That's aggressive" or something like that, and I'm like, "Well, I'm just. I mean, my numbers are reality. Your numbers are fantasy." So
Interesting.
yeah, basically almost 100K on top of his 360 is what I was telling him.
Well, because that's the bit, like you have to turn it around and sell it. That's the big thing.
Right.
Maybe if you were
Like,
gonna
I think his
just
car
own it.
retail would sell between 80 and 85,000.
Hmm.
That's what that's
Oh, as is, you think?
yeah.
Hmm.
Because the only
Interesting.
redeeming factor is it's a manual conversion.
Hmm.
But the hard part is it's a manual conversion done by EAG and not the new EAG, the old EAG art.
Yeah.
So who's going to warranty it?
Hmm.
Who's going to support that car if it has any issues, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's basically kind of about what I'm valuing his car for wholesale is about 75 grand because I need to be able to make it. I mean, I'm not going to buy a car and only make 5 grand because that's too little. It's too much risk, right? Like, so yeah. Anyway, I listed the Scud for 175, which I think is extremely fair.
Yeah.
So I priced it aggressively because I want to get rid of it. Yeah. Yeah, it's that's the other thing. It's like silver, and it's like silver is the worst color for a 360.
Yeah, I understand why he dyed the interior if it was crema too. So-
Yeah, silver and crema. Like, oh,
Oh.
it's a horrible spec. So, insuring a salvage title is no different, really, than a regular car.
Well, it's a rebuilt title, right?
It's rebuilt.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay.
I mean, technically, it has to be rebuilt in order to be able to register it and title it. Everyone says salvage because they first are salvaged and then they get rebuilt, whatever.
Yeah, but salvage means it's not drivable, so right.
Right. Technically, if you have a salvage title car, you can't register it and blah, blah, blah. If you have a rebuilt title, but everyone always says salvage title, even though it's always a rebuilt title. But
Okay.
you can insure it just like a regular car. Doing a defined value, like you, on a lot of those policies, you say how much you want the value to be. So, I mean, I would just, whatever you pay for it, do that plus 10% or something just to make sure you don't lose your nut. Right?
Mm-hmm.
it would be worth more to convert it back to an F1. I actually jokingly, mentally thought to myself, if I got his car, would it be worth taking the conversion and putting it on a better car
Oh,
and
that'd
putting
be
it back to F1 because it's a horrible spec. But yeah, anyway,
That would be funny.
coin flip me 125k heads, 150 tails for the Scud wire ready. That's the kind of shit I'm getting. Dumb crap like that.
Need a double tails coin to do that.
Right. And even then, we're still off by $25,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is a Scud appreciating asset? I mean, I think Scuds right now are undervalued. Actually, you want to know what special car is extraordinarily undervalued right now? Gallardo Superlegeras. My lord, they're way undervalued. But
Any of the Gardos, really, but
Gallardos,
especially
period,
the-
yes. Gallardos are way too cheap, but the Super Gs especially are way too cheap. But yeah, the Scuds, I think people see, especially once you drive a Scud, you're like, oh my god, this is a special car. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, you drove it.
Oh yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It's a race car for the streets. Like it hates going slow, and then once you open it up, it's like, oh buddy, let's go.
Yeah.
So, it's a riot, man. I mean, the pops, the kick you in the ass shifts, like
Oh, the shifts.
the brutal downshifts, just everything's good. It's a fun car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
And the bumpy road mode works very well as well.
Actually, the suspension in it is very adaptive compared to the regular 430s.
Yep.
And totally agree with this. No, and that's honestly, I priced at 175 expecting to get 170.
There you go. If you're watching and you're making a deal with Dan,
If you throw a 170 at me, I will take it. Okay? But yeah, we always price our cars slightly higher than we actually want to get because we know people won't just pay us what it's worth.
yeah.
Actually, I have a theory on this. For some reason, the expensive cars everyone wants to deal with. They want some sort of negotiation. The cheap cars, those cars people don't negotiate. So like the Mustang GT350, the Viper, all those cars will probably sell exactly what we list for or very, very close. But Ferraris, I mean, very rarely do we actually sell it for what we list it. I mean, it's usually within a couple $1,000s, but they always want a couple $1,000s off. So we always bake in a couple $1,000s, right? You just have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there's more meat on the bone for those cars.
GT4 is gone. GT3 is gone. Ding
Ah.
dong, the witch is dead.
Nice.
We only lost $15,000.
All right, so you got rid of a few Porsches.
All
Yeah,
the
well,
Porsches.
Took a little while.
GT4 is still at the shop, but
Yeah.
we have a deposit, and I actually know the buyer. I've met him in person and everything, and so I'm 99% sure he's actually in Cub Through, and he's supposed to come pick it up Saturday. So,
Nice.
yeah. The issue is the Scud and Gyros have aged poorly. They just look so mediocre.
Mm,
You're smoking crack.
yeah.
I
is a
think
Porsche
you're going to
owner,
find most
so-
people disagree with that opinion. Oh, yes. The ultra high mile,
Oh god.
Super G that went to
Wow.
Bring a Trailer.
Well, I'm glad you
Yeah.
didn't get that one.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't
Jeez.
buy that one.
Jeez.
The Ferrari dealership here says it is the best Ferrari ever made for 30 minutes. Are you talking about the Scud? Like 30-minute drives, that's all you want? I mean, I drove it 1,400 miles.
Yeah. I mean, with that loud exhaust on it, with the valves open, it was like after 3 hours, it was kind of like, yeah, my ears.
You need help?
I can
Yeah.
tell my ears are
You-
tired.
You had a date in the car the whole time?
Mhm.
What do they think?
Oh, she had a
Where?
blast. So
Okay,
I think she
wasn't too much.
Do you need help?
Nah.
Okay, he's just. Sorry, my son came in. He's stealing the monster truck off my desk.
Oh, he's got
Calm
priorities.
down. He's got a fire truck in one hand, a monster truck in the other. I'm a proud man.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Come here. No?
Would you consider trading in for that, Tyler?
Not for Scud, no.
It's not into the Scud thing.
I just need a little more like, with all the roads here, and it takes an hour to get outside of town. Like, I just need a little more drivability, slow speed.
I mean, it is. Well, to be fair, once you drive a 430 360 or whatever with an F1, the more you drive it, the more you learn to work with the computer,
Okay.
and you can
yeah.
smooth it out a lot and make it
Okay.
really. But yeah, compared to a dual clutch or whatever, it's just not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it will never be as smooth.
Yeah.
Period. Super Legeras are 200K here. Oh my god! Apparently, you need to ship the Super Gs up to Canada.
Yeah. The Canadian rubles are.
550s are not undervalued. They are overvalued. They are like 250 grand now. They're like way overpriced. I think that the 575s are undervalued.
Yeah, big difference, right? Why is there such a big difference? Is it how
Because
many
they're
they made?
manual. It's manual
No.
versus not manual.
Oh, that's the only difference. That's
What's
okay.
wrong? No, don't take that. That's. It's trying to take the stapler and like, no,
Are there no 575 manuals?
you don't have to lock it. No. Oh, you trapped.
You need another beer soon.
I do. Actually, I'm almost out.
Yeah.
Are there no 575 manuals? Is that the cutoff point?
They made like 130 of them or so.
One of those. Yeah.
Yeah. 575 manuals are worth a boatload. Oh yes. So the market, yeah. So is the market dropping? Waiting to pull trigger on a bat auction for my highly modified Aero Atom, but nervous as hell. If you're trying to sell a car, you're going to be disappointed right now. It is a buyer's market, 100% right now. The market's definitely dropped. It is slow. It's hard to sell things right now. Like the cars you see, like I'm going to say 75% of the cars you see for sale right now, and I'm mostly talking about supercars, right? Because that's what I look at. 75% of the cars you see for sale right now are the same cars you've seen for sale for 6 months because they're overpriced. And so what's happening is there's all these overpriced cars that aren't selling, and then there's like cars that are priced appropriately and they sell instantly. And so if you're in like the chances of you actually seeing or getting those cars that are priced appropriately are really hard.
Yep.
But I guess that kind of makes it not a buyer's market in some sense, because the cars that are out there that are listed, the people selling them aren't willing to negotiate. You know, I mean, there's people still selling Ferrari F430s for like $175,000 for an F1 car.
Jeez.
And I'm looking at it like, you're smoking crack. And they're like, oh, but it's only got like 10,000 miles. I'm like, yeah, we just bought one for like 105.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no. You're off by like a factor of a Toyota Camry or two.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And those cars just sit there forever, and then you think like, well, maybe I should have to spend more to get something, but no, it's the cars that are priced right don't even show up online because they're just selling.
Gone. They're
Like,
gone instantly.
Nuts.
What are you
Yeah.
seeing for 488s, Tyler? You still looking?
I mean,
Casually?
I check like once a week, and it's
Yeah.
all the same cars. Like maybe one or two
Okay.
more new
Same
ones will
thing.
show up, but they're all overpriced. And
Yep.
Yep. Do we ever have a genuine Ferrari dealer reach out to buy any of your cars? Actually, the Roma was bought by a Ferrari dealership,
Mhm.
but generally no. Generally no, because I don't think Ferrari dealers buy that many cars. I think they consign a shitload of cars. I think the vast majority of their for sale used cars are consignments. Or trade-ins, right? They don't go seeking cars. They don't have to, because Ferrari owners are like, oh, I want to buy another Ferrari. I'm going to just trade in my Ferrari. And so they just constantly get this rotation of Ferraris. Versus us, we have to constantly go seeking cars, right? So we have to do a lot of legwork to buy a single car. The 296 is extremely fast, extremely powerful. I'm very impressed with it. Yeah. But yeah, so the the used supercar market is weird right now. It is like there are some great deals if you find them, and what I'm going to say is if you're looking to find something and you see something priced appropriately, you better act fast, because there's 20 other guys trying to buy that same car. They're going to see it, and the first one with the money is going to get it.
Yep.
So, like, just if you see a good deal, buy it immediately. It's a buyer's market in that respect, but the problem is most of the cars are overpriced. So, and again, the people just aren't negotiating. They aren't coming down in price. It sucks. And that's the problem that we're having, is like we're having to break hearts constantly. Like, people keep telling, we've gotten a lot of solicitations of people trying to sell cars in the last few weeks, and none of them liked our prices because they're all still way off in the clouds. You know, I mean, we get constantly, oh, hey, I want to sell my 432. Great. And like, you know, we have to tell them like, hey, I'm not willing to pay retail. You're looking for retail. Like, no, I saw this other car listed for 160. It's like, it's listed for 160.
Yeah, retail.
It's not going to sell for 160. It's never going to sell. Like, I'm going to sell your car for like 130, so I'm going to need it for 110. Because I'm going to have to put $5,000 in it.
Jeez.
Yep.
You know, like, that's the thing. People don't get it. Like, every single car we buy, we have to put money in, plus shipping, plus all this other crap. So, you know, we buy your car for 110 and we sell it for 120. We've put $5,000 in it, and we paid interest and whatever. So we maybe make $10,000 on that car. Maybe. If we're really lucky.
I mean, Chris said this. I mean, that I'm kind of seeing the 255, 260 range.
For good
If it's
one.
a high spec car, low miles, good shape, that seems to be like a fair price.
Yep. I've seen them ranging from 200 to 300.
Yeah.
And 250 is kind of like the sweet spot.
And if that's a Spider, it's a hell of a deal. So.
Oh, dude. How many times a week do you get asked, so is this an investment? I mean, some derivative of that statement, right? Like,
About what? Which car?
like anytime people are trying to buy cars, they're like, oh, you think I'm going to lose, you know, like how am I going to do on this car? Am I going to lose my ass on it? And like, I wish I could predict the future.
Yeah.
You know, if I could predict the future, I'd be a rich man.
You just can't tell.
I can tell you that, like, if you're looking to retain value on your car, you got to get lots of options. Like, high option cars hold their values better than low option cars. You know, you want it to be an easy car to sell. So I hate to say it, but resell red's probably going to do better than some weird ass color, because you'll be able to cash that out in the future. If you have some weird color, it may not be in vogue in the future. You know, like right now, certain grays are in vogue, but give it 5 years and people might be like, gray's ugly. You know, I don't know. So off colors make it harder. Obviously, if it's a rare car like a Scud or a Challenge Stradale or whatever, that's going to retain value a whole lot better than a quote unquote normal Ferrari. You know, So rarer is always better, except for in color.
Yep. So you gotta buy. You basically have to buy that as a premium. That higher likelihood of retaining value.
Right, and that's the funny thing is you're going to pay more now anyway. So do you really do better in the future?
Yeah. I mean,
You know.
here's an easy one to say. The quick answer is no.
Would you recommend flying
just
domestic
no.
with $200K to cash to buy a car? Hell no. I would
mean-
not physically bring that much cash. What?
Yeah.
Why are you opposed to a wire transfer?
Yeah,
it's
just
really
wire
easy.
it.
The
I'm
dealer
pretty sure they'll
doesn't want
stop
to.
you.
No one wants to physically deal with $200,000 cash.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna stop you too.
Especially
and
if
be
you got to see the car too
What's
before
going on?
you're gonna want to look at it.
Yeah, that's what wire transfers are for.
Yeah.
I have done so many. I have flown out, looked at a car, and then done a wire transfer on my phone at the person's house, right then and there. Yep, I like this car. Here you go. Sending you the money. It'll be there in 10 minutes. Do you know when you will get to drive a 12-cylinder? When someone lets me. I don't know. Again, I can't predict the future. I would love to, but you are full of shit. The GT3s are dropping like crazy right now.
Really?
Oh my god, dude! That's why we got our ass handed to us on that GT3. We bought it. We bought our car at a great deal at the time we bought it, and in those few months we owned it, the price of those cars dropped by like $20,000,
But that's because that was a pleb spec, according to Philip.
according to Philip. Yeah.
Are they still dropping, or is it the time
Yes.
to buy?
Oh yeah, they are still on their way down.
Hmm.
Give it if you want to buy a great deal. Wait another 6 months and then go buy a.
Are we talking GT3, GT3 RS? Both of
all
those?
of them.
GT4?
You gotta remember, Porsche made a fuck ton of those cars. They are not rare.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they're rare. They are not rare.
And you don't get to recoup your ADM, even though you paid $200,000 over for it.
Yeah, and the people, and that's the thing is, people paid way over for those things for a long time. That day, the reckonings come. They're no longer worth more than MSRP. Yes, the peasant spec. Here we go. Or we could just, I could just not buy Porsches and not lose my ass because Porsches don't make money. Ooh, what? An orange 430 with an orange and light
Oh my
blue
God.
interior?
Oh, God.
That just sounds awful.
Just drive that off a cliff to put it out of its misery.
I mean, you can't buy good taste, right? Like,
Yeah. That's probably worse than the McDonald's cars, the red and yellow.
Only
interior.
McLaren can make that work, right?
right.
They probably could, actually, but
I don't know if 6 months. That's a good question, right? Like, where's the bottom?
yeah.
I don't know. At some point, and the thing is, you're never going to be able to predict exactly when or where it's going to happen. At some point, all of a sudden, people are going to go, "Oh my God, these are way too cheap." Everyone's going to start buying supercars, and then their prices are going to go back up. I mean, it's always cyclic, right? It's generally up, but it's cyclic. I mean, shit. I remember when I bought my 458, I unintentionally bought it at the bottom of the market. I bought my 458 for $158,000,
Lucky
and
bastard.
it only had 60,000 or 16,000 miles on it, and it was a $300 and something thousand spec car, right? Like, it was loaded to the tits. And at the time, I remember thinking, "God, I'm overpaying for this thing." Huh?
That's a T-shirt we need. Loaded to the tip.
Tyler
Loaded
and I
to
are
the
just
tits.
cracking up. Yeah, and you bought it from some billionaire too, right?
Yeah.
It was owned by a billionaire, and I remember I was like, "Man, I think I'm overpaying for this thing."
Jeez.
And in hindsight, I was like, I bought at the absolute bottom for the 458 market.
Yep. And if you would have held on to it for 3 more years, you could have sold it for double.
Well, I sold it for more than I paid for it.
Oh, I know. But you could have sold it for another $50,000 more.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Like-
Actually, it wasn't even. It was probably a year after I sold it.
Yeah.
Like, if I had waited till like COVID peak, I probably could have sold it for well into the twos.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
And funny enough, the guy who bought it actually had asked me if I would buy it back, and at that time I offered him, like, I don't remember, some high number more than he paid for it, and he was like, "Oh no!" Like, and at the time it was like, wholesale number, and he was like, "No." And then like a year later, he's like, "Hey, is that still valid?" I'm like, "No, man. Now it's way less than you paid for it."
Yeah. Does he still have it?
Yeah, he still's got it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the thing. It just, it goes up and down. Alex. I mean, that's pretty much every car we sell. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
rip
that's
ass.
the parting gift.
I got, like when I'm taking out on those.
When Dan says rip it, he ain't talking about the gas pedal, right?
Yeah, nice. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah,
I mean, my thing is, I feel like you got to be willing, unless you really don't care, you got to be willing to, if shit hits the fan, lose your ass in a car. I mean, you don't want that, but like, I think it helps if you can stomach that if it is to happen. So you're not always worried about it happening.
Yeah, yeah. No, the reality is right now we are resetting back to how actual cars are, where you generally don't make money on cars. And I think people are having a really hard time with that. For the last 3-4 years, everyone's like, "Oh my god, I'm making money on these cars," and that's not reality.
Yeah.
You
Hell, I made
oh,
money on Jeep Wrangler. Like,
yeah, people make money on fucking Toyota Camrys and Highlanders and stuff, and it's like, come on, this is not reality. So of course everyone thought they were it's like the pre-dot-com burst when everyone bought stocks and they're like, I'm a genius, I made $1 million, and then like 2 weeks later they're like, I'm broke. It's like, yeah, when rising tide raises all ships, but it's a fucking tsunami, and so yeah, you're like, everyone's making money, it's really easy, but then when the tide goes back out, it's like, oh,
yeah.
son of a bitch.
But I still want to make money.
I know. I like that. I liked when that was easy. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah, I am glad reality's back, Newport.
And actually, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is how it should be. But people are having a hard time with it mentally, and I cannot tell you the number of people trying to trade it in a car or sell us a car, and they're like, "Oh, well, I paid more than that. I really just can't lose money on this car." It's like, that's how it works. That's how this works almost all the time. So you need to accept that you're going to lose money on these cars. If you're going to own these cars, you're not going to make money. Buy it because it's a car, not because it's an investment.
Yeah, buy it and have fun with it.
Right. It's a car. Go drive it and enjoy it.
Yeah, smiles per gallon. Enjoy them.
Yes.
Get rid of it when you need something else.
Yep. It's the reality's back. Josh can make money on this Honda CT70. Yeah, he could. I'm sure that thing's worth a boatload right now. Yes, this is spot on. It is not a drop. It's normalizing. It's a very accurate statement. We are back to normal. You're going to lose money on your cars. Congratulations. How about the FF GT? Oops, oh, damn it, stupid thing. Hold on, here we go. There. FF GTC for Lusso, not favored Ferrari, but awesome and likely have all depreciation taken out of them. What's that worth in 5? I don't know. I mean, it's a good value car as far as the car you get for the money. Are they ever going to be really appreciated? Probably not. Just look at the 612 Scaglietti. It's still not really desired. I don't think these are going to be the next 250 GTOs.
Unless there's some clown shoe craze.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Right. So, no, buying those cars thinking you're going to get rich is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You're right, exactly. Yeah. Back in the day, I should buy either Microsoft or Apple, and I'm a financial genius. I made tons of money. It's like, yeah, right. Like,
yep.
You could have thrown a dart at a stock picker dartboard, and you would have made money back then, right? It's like, come on. Oh yeah. That was the other thing. So this is actually the problem now, right? Everyone was like, I'm a genius. I made all this money on my car during COVID, and then they went out and bought another car during COVID, and now they're like, oh, crap, this car isn't worth what I paid for it. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, dude. Josh and I talk about this all the time.
I can't imagine.
We don't understand how these dealerships are still surviving. It does not. The math does not work. So I think we've talked about this before on a live. I'm pretty sure most of these dealerships are either laundering money or have sugar daddy bankrolling them, because we don't, right? We don't have money, just coming at us left and right. It's funded by us and by loans and stuff that we pay interest on. So we have to actually sell cars to make a living. And I swear to God, some of these companies that we've seen cars for sale, the same cars for sale for over a year. They just sit on them for forever. And the only way that makes sense is if some uber wealthy dude is just like, here's a pile of money, go buy a bunch of cars, and I don't really care if you make money on them. And I don't care if I sit on them, right? So
Yeah, because it can't be coming from like their service departments, right?
yeah, no, exactly. Like, I'm not going to name names, but Josh and I had to drop off a car at another dealership this week, and we went and kind of like scoped out the dealership. And I'm sitting here looking at the dealership, and they have a little bit more inventory than us, not a whole lot, like a little bit more. And they had like 10 employees running around. And this, like, they had all these offices and all this crap. And I'm sitting here like mentally like adding up their rent, adding up their overhead, all this crap. And I'm like, there's no fucking way that this mathematically makes sense. Like, on paper, there's no way. I don't know how they can survive. And then Josh was like, oh, so-and-so, the super wealthy guy, owns that company. I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, he's not
He's
paying
not-
interest on them or anything.
He basically has a pile of money and said,
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a bunch of toys for myself and put them in this dealership so I don't have to pay taxes. And by the way, occasionally sell those cars.
Yeah.
It's the only way it works.
Yep.
I wanted to highlight this one too because that guy has a few good comments. Like, he talks about making sure you're buying a high spec car for the lowest amount of money. But yes, I am sure a lot of people.
Yeah, he's selling a too good to be true
Yeah.
scheme, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think that ship's going to dry up. Like, it's going to hit shore pretty soon for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right. A dealership I worked at was owned by Roger Penske. I mean, yeah, again, got a little bit of money backing it, right? Just a little. So, yeah, anyway, in consignments, that's the other thing. I think a vast majority of dealers are doing consignments. We don't do hardly any consignments. Believe me, I want to do more and more of them because they're the easiest way to make money. I don't have any overhead. I just shove a car in the corner. I do a video on it. I promote it. And eventually, I make some money on it. It's great for me. But I don't know. I man. Yeah.
Good question.
This is part of it is, I think, at least when a dealer sells it to another dealer and they're losing money, it's fast and easy and they don't have to worry about anything. If you come to me and you give me a number that's going to make me lose money, but now you got to finance it and have to jump through all this hoops, and now I have to do all this legwork and all this crap, I'm like, I don't want to work to lose money, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna make me lose money, I'm gonna do the bare minimum. You know, so our GT3 deal, we lost a ton of money on it, and I reminded the buyers multiple times, like, I'm losing money on this deal. I'm not willing to do this, like, because they would ask me for something. I'm like, no, I'm not willing to do that. I'm losing money on the car.
Yeah.
And, like, I had to make it very clear, like, I'm not gonna be nice about this. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to be pleasant. I'm unhappy. I'm losing money in this car.
Yeah, most people are like immune to that though, because every dealer's like, "Oh, you're twisting my arm and shit."
Right.
And
I'm like,
no, you're actually just losing
I'm
money.
not. I don't bullshit. If I'm telling you I'm losing money in the car, I'm losing money in the car. I can tell you right now, at $170,000, I'm losing money on the Scud.
Yeah.
I'm not lying about that. I'm losing money on the Scud at $170,000.
Well, and to Hugh's question, like, there was a rare spec 458 I was looking to buy right around the time I was moving to Texas. That dealer never sold it. They've sold it to another Ferrari dealer, and that dealer sold it less than I'd offered the first dealer. So,
Yeah.
had I seen it show up at the second dealer, I would have probably bought it. But by the time I saw it, it already had a pending sale. So, oh well.
Yep. Yeah, it's a strange market right now. I think there's some crazy good deals to be had. I think it's a buyer's market. Like, yes, the market is slowing down, but it's not going to slow down forever. Like, at the same time, we've been saying this for years. Please don't buy cars as an investment. Buy them because you want the car. Expect to go, lose a little bit of money. So I was asked, what would you like to pay? I said 85K, and they sold to auction for 82. Yeah, because they didn't have to deal with it. That's the thing.
Opportunity cost is real.
Yeah. How much money am I going to lose on my MSRP Spider RS that they will allow me to Montana register to avoid taxes? I don't know. When are you going to sell it? Sell it now, and you probably won't lose money. If you wait a while, you probably will lose money.
Or
That's
just
funny.
enjoy the crap out of it because it's a fun car.
Right, or because it's a crazy car. It's a little tiny little Porsche with a big engine. I mean, that's the greatest formula ever, right? Small car with a big motor.
Hell yeah.
Light and small with lots of horsepower equals fun.
Like my Miata. Oh wait, it's
Let me
missing
get it
one
up
of those
here.
things.
I'll be back. Entertain yourselves.
Yeah, Greg, don't lie. That car is $399. I saw that car, and it's beautiful. You should buy it. So,
What's the color stream paint?
it's like Greg's gonna hate me saying this. It's like the Ford Mystic Chrome. It's like color changing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. But
Like purplish, greenish.
I forget which colors it goes between, but yeah, like all that spectrum there. Let's see, looking through older comments, what else we can comment on?
So did you track down the oil leak?
From what I could pull off in the bottom panel in my garage, the top of the oil pump was wet. So I think it's just the oil feed hose. They're braided hoses, so it could have just failed, or the O-ring around it could have given up. So hopefully it's
Okay.
just that.
You gonna take it to that?
Yeah, it's already in Dallas.
Oh, in Dallas. Okay. How'd you get it there? Did you trailer it?
He was actually here trying to pick up someone else's car, but they couldn't. It wouldn't even start, so they couldn't get it out of the garage. So he was like, "Well, I'm here in town with a trailer. Do you want me to
Nice.
pick up your car?" Like, sure.
I'm actually going to disagree with that statement. I would say sell if you need to sell or if you really want something else. But, I mean, it's cyclical. So if you're not in a desperation to sell, just hold on to it and wait another year or so, and it'll probably be worth more than it's worth now. I mean,
Yep.
it just depends, right? And like, again, no one can predict the future. If we could, we'd all be geniuses and rich. So,
Yep. You asked me this last week, Q. Defender's great. It's finally going to be 4 years old in 2 weeks. So that means the manufacturer's warranty is up.
Ooh.
So I can extend the warranty for $3,000 for 2 more years,
I would.
Really?
or get another car. But there's nothing else. I don't need anything else. Like, it works great.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dan's
Josh's
skeptical.
brother-in-law said, like, the
Get rid of it.
turbo cooling lines, it's not if they break, it's when they break, and that has not broken on mine. So
So it's going to break.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna get the warranty if I keep it. But
How
the
many
answer-
miles in that
or
warranty?
the question
That's
is,
a
do
year.
I trade it in and get something else?
Oh,
The warranty would be 36,000.
36,000 miles, 2 years?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a lot.
yeah.
What will
for
the C8
$3,000.
ZR1 do to the market? I hope my gut is that I hope it will ignite a fire under the supercar brands to do better.
Yeah,
That's a good hope.
Because I feel like, no offense to any, well, actually take offense,
Yeah,
Ferrari,
take offense.
Lamborghini, and McLaren.
yeah.
You guys got outdone by Chevy. Straight up.
Okay, how many of those cars are just gonna end up in the ditch? Like, no one can drive the current Z06.
Dude, they're gonna turn off traction control and off they go.
Yeah, like, those are going to become the new Mustang.
Especially
Like,
because, like, I hate to say it, but that's kind of an ego car.
oh god, yeah.
Like, so, like, you know that there's a bunch of like macho alpha males who are like, I'm a man, I know how to drive a car. Turn off traction control because I'm a man. Telephone pole.
Yeah, there. So many of those are gonna be wrecked. I almost
Oh,
want
yeah.
to have a bet, like,
It's gonna be the new
how
Mustang.
long until the first one shows up at Copart. Like,
The only thing is, does the demographic of old people that buy it weigh out the demographic of
Yeah.
young people? Because like Mustangs, it's all young people, right? And
Yeah.
that's why it's such a trope,
yeah, and the old people have the money to afford it.
right? So like those people are driving around the ZR1s, putting around. I mean, that's the car you want to buy in 5 years. A ZR1 owned by some geriatric who's never once gotten above 5,000 RPMs.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, like go pick up one of those for half price.
Yeah. See, this is the problem. McLarens drive very well, so you should
They do.
get one. And
McLarens
enjoy
are
it.
great.
They just do McLaren things.
They yeah. Oh, so did I tell you about my? I had a kind of a frustrating week with the Scud.
Oh no.
Okay, so you know I'm trying to prep it for sale, so I'm trying to fix as many things as possible, and it has a secondary air injection issue where the secondary air pump was, I would assume, not kicking on because I was getting a check engine light for both left and right bank, insufficient secondary airflow.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking if it's both sides, it's probably the pump. You know, like if one of the valves fails, you'll get a left or a right bank failure or whatever. So Josh and I start like poking around. We're like, it's got to be like a fuse or a relay. Because I first took out the entire secondary air pump and I bench tested it and it works.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, the damn thing works, right? It powers on, it runs. It's got to be a fuse or a relay somewhere. So we start monkeying around with shit. And after we start monkeying around with stuff, we're like, hey, let's try, swapping out some fuses, relays, whatever, blah, blah. And then let's try starting the car and see if we can hear the pump running. And then the car won't start.
Oh no.
It's straight up dead. And I'm like, oh, crap. And then after a little bit, we figure out when you open the door, do anything, the F1 pump isn't running. So it has no hydraulic pressure, so it can't disengage the clutch. So that's why it's not starting. Because you could hear the relay click for the starter, click, click,
Yeah,
click,
see
click.
that?
And you could hear it. You could hear the relays behind the seat clicking. So we're like, okay. Well, I'm gonna take the dumbass award for this one. When we were monkeying around with all the fuses, there's a 50 amp fuse for the F1 pump, and when I popped it out to test it, I put it back in the wrong slot.
Whoops.
There's a problem.
So yeah, my bad.
Wrong hole, Dan. Wrong hole.
Could have been worse.
Anyway, good news is it's working again after some frustrating.
Was that what was causing the original air?
So I think the
Take part.
actual relay was failed because we did get the secondary air pump to come on. I just need to drive it a bunch of times from cold start to see if it actually, if that fixed the problem. Because if not, then there's something else that's causing. The only other thing I could think of is it might not be getting enough vacuum to fully open both the valves. So there might be a vacuum leak somewhere, or it could be because I installed the aftermarket exhaust that, like, if you run it valves open, that it's causing some vacuum inconsistencies, and so the valves aren't opening all the way. Anyway, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan, do you ever plan on fitting the carbon fiber kits on the Ferraris?
Like
You have
installing
to
it
be
for people.
bit more specific.
Yeah, I think he
What-
means like installing aftermarket carbon fiber stuff
What
for
what
people.
the carbon fiber kits and what the Ferraris?
Oh yeah, true. No Liberty Walks.
I don't know what you mean. So please feel free to, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't ever convert the Scud, but I'm totally fine if someone wants to. Like, I'm not gonna be like butthurt by it, you know.
Yeah, I think you need to drive it like a couple thousand miles before you convert it.
I would hope they go if someone
Yeah.
buys the car and they're going to convert it to a manual. I would hope they at least experience it as it is, because it is phenomenal.
It is.
And you know, like I don't I don't care what anyone does to any car I ever have sold. Like if they want to modify it in any way, it's their car. They should do what they want. Like
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean I would do that, but I'm not going to crap on someone if that's what they want to do. Like that, I don't give her. You know, like, it's your car.
Yep. Here, I want to throw this up. So
Define ton.
yeah, ton. So Dan said this before about Ferraris, and it's true for any supercar. That was the second cheapest McLaren in the United States when I bought it, and there was a ton of deferred maintenance to do on it.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So the things that have actually broken that I didn't know about when I bought it, there's been 3 things.
Versus the things that broke that you knew about.
Yeah, maybe 4 things,
I'm sure.
including this
Just
oil
more.
pump thing. Yeah, 4. So versus things I knew about and I've just been slowly fixing or
And
fixing.
define a ton of
opportunity.
money. Because you've had a 5-figure repair bill.
Yeah, but that was also doing preemptive maintenance because I was already in there. So
True.
yeah,
Yeah.
define a ton of money. The stuff that I didn't know about or that I didn't do preemptively isn't that bad.
100% yes.
Oh yeah.
I have absolutely been criticized by Ferrari certified mechanics and non-certified Ferrari mechanics, and mechanics period, and non-mechanics, and everyone in the internet. Pretty much daily, I get criticized. Actually, funny enough, I'm getting a lot of shit about my GT40 carburetor fix.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though that's what the internet told you to do.
So, I mean, the thing is, it's carburetor. There's 1,000 ways to slice the same thing, right? So it's all just, physical restriction of air, addition of fuel, restriction of fuel, whatever. And so there's probably, God knows how many old school people who see this video. They only watch 20 seconds of it, and then they immediately go to like, oh, you're a dumbass, you're doing this wrong or whatever, right? Because they don't know the whole story. So it's fine. But yeah, I'm getting a ton of shit on that, drilling out those butterflies on that carburetor. But then I got a lot of people who are like, oh, wow, that's cool. That actually worked. It's like, cool. But yeah, I as far as actual Ferrari stuff, funny story about, like, I don't bring this up ever because I don't bring up this stuff, right? Like, I don't think it's worthy of bringing up, but this is directly related. There was a specific individual who was I don't know if he was certified, but he was a Ferrari mechanic of some sort. And he didn't like me for whatever reason, because I don't know, I guess I've insulted his mom or something, who knows, right? Like, anyway, he hates me. He decided to make it his personal mission to go around on the internet and publicly bash me. And normally I don't really care. Like, if you comment on my videos and insult me or whatever, I'm like, whatever, I don't give a shit. Like, it's my videos, I'll just delete your comment. But he was going around, like, outside of my videos and, like, proactively saying negative shit about me. Which, this was new. Like, I've had haters, but I haven't had a hater proactively, aggressively say negative things about me. And, like, to the point where people would, like, screenshot stuff he was doing, because I don't know where it's all happening or whatever. They would screenshot stuff and send it to me and be like, dude, did you see this? I'm like, no, but that's actually really interesting. And so it got bad enough to the point where, like, he was private messaging me to insult me. Like, he was going out of his way. And so he actually, like, I think he's DM'd me on Instagram or something like that to insult me. So I blocked him because I'm like, I don't need to see this shit. And then he like text messages me. So I block him on that. And then he like emails me.
Oh my god.
It was like, holy crap, what mental illness do you have, dude? Like, it was seriously, it was like, it got to a point where I'm like, wow, you really truly have something wrong with you. Like,
This is
there
a certified Ferrari mechanic.
yeah, this was, I don't know if he was certified, but he was a fry mechanic.
What was he afraid of? Like, why did he have a bone to pick with you?
Because I fucked his mom. I don't know. Like, who knows, right? Like, I don't know.
Oh, he's got a point then.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. There was nothing specific I ever recalled that I did or said to him.
I mean, it had to have been he feared that you were taking his business or something,
That's the weird thing,
right? Because otherwise, why would he care?
It was strange. I just found it very foreign,
Yeah.
like that. Like, someone, I don't care if someone hates me, like, but like, what drives someone to hate someone to go out of their way to crap on someone,
Yeah.
right? Like, there's plenty of people I dislike in life. I don't like, I personally don't spend the mental energy on that person if I don't like them. Like, I just like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't like the person, I'm gonna ignore them. I'm gonna move along and
Yeah.
pretend they don't exist, because that takes far less mental energy and it makes me happier to not think about them. But this person's spending they're actively going out of their way to think about me and shit on me. It was very weird.
Is that the
Does-
same person you sent to like cease and desist to? Like, look,
I contacted my lawyer about sending him a cease and desist because
Okay.
he actually was negatively impacting my business,
yeah,
and it got to the point where it was like, you know what he's doing is not, he's not even worth it.
okay,
Like, it wasn't worth the money to pay my lawyers because he's so insignificant.
okay.
So,
Makes
which
sense.
is almost more insulting than anything to say that, you know.
Right.
That was what my lawyer and I kind of concluded, was like, there's no point. Like,
Okay.
he might hurt a little bit of my business, but it's less than it's going to cost me to lawyer up. So just move along.
Yep.
What was the mom's rating? Oh man, yeah. Yeah. Anytime you're on the internet, if you have haters, you're doing a good job.
Yep.
Totally. Actually, I've joked about this. I've joked to Josh. I said, it's funny because I know our YouTube channel hasn't been doing that great because I don't have a lot of active haters.
Makes sense. Yeah, because you're not reaching that audience.
Right, because I'm not reaching new people. It's the same people who already like us that are watching our stuff, which is, it's great. I like that we're getting people who appreciate us and stuff, but that means we're not growing, which is bad.
Oh, jeez. One guy had to leave after that
Right.
comment.
My wife says
Sorry-
I have to
sorry,
bail off
Newport.
for I banged your mom comment.
What are you doing, Dan? These poor
Sorry.
people.
It's the only thing I can think of, man. Like, I don't know. Like, what? Yeah. Anyway, it's just that sort of stuff. It's just very weird because that was also in-person hate versus like online hate. Like, I've met this person in person and they're a local person. So it was very weird. Anyway. Why don't you have many 458s? Seems like all 430s and 360s, because right now we can't find good deals on 458s. We are always looking, and
No margins.
yeah. The problem is also the other problem was 458s more than the 430s and 360s were actively declining
Yeah.
in value. I feel like they're kind of at the bottom now, but they were like for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, they've been actively going down. And so we didn't want to buy one and be, like holding the bag as it decreases in value, especially if we didn't get it at a good enough price. And my Lord, no one was willing to give us good prices. I mean, we had I don't know, 50 cars that we've made offers on, and none of them have come through. So, yeah, I would love to get some more 458s. They're wonderful cars. They're one of my favorites of all time. It's probably, I still think it's the greatest car ever made. No, it's running better. I still need to tune it correctly. Oh, I just saw my kid running.
Oh. There's no screaming, so it's okay.
No, it was a happy run, but I have a feeling Meg's about to get a disruption.
Yeah.
Wait, so the guy sued you, and Angry Mechanic are your enemy? No.
Yeah. We saw that guy this weekend.
Did you?
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
was at the Ferrari event.
That was fun.
I just ignored
Dang.
him.
Did you know who he was, Tyler?
No, I didn't. I don't
pointed
think
it
I've
out.
ever met him before, but yeah, Dan.
Did he have that
pointed him
the same car in question?
He did not drive his Ferrari to the event,
Hmm.
which is strange to me. It's like you own a Ferrari, you're a member of the Ferrari club, and you're going to a Ferrari event. It was beautiful weather, but you don't bring the Ferrari.
So Dan, you guys didn't even exchange looks.
Oh no, he's
Yeah.
better than me. He doesn't
No.
exist.
In both of their worlds, neither of them was in the same room.
Even though we were like,
Yeah.
the funny
I
thing is, I
witnessed.
sat at a table position where I'm looking directly at him
Oh my gosh.
too, unintentionally. I didn't know he was there until after I sat down, and then I looked over and I'm like, oh, come
Yeah.
on.
Travis, it rained like 3 days later, so it was a valid reason not to drive your Ferrari.
I see.
What's a good retail deal for very good options? I mean, for reasonable miles, anything under 200 right now is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you didn't do too bad. Actually, you did really well.
yeah.
I wouldn't have paid that.
46 mile for once. Why? Because the mileage?
Yeah, the miles kill it. I would have paid 150.
Hmm. And
I think
listed for
170
170.
170 is full retail for that car. You did
Yeah.
great.
Nice.
Yeah, good job. So you don't have to rejet the car. It was the idle. It wasn't an open throttle issue. It wasn't the jets aren't coming into play. So like a couple other people were like, "Oh, you need to rejet it." And it's like, no, the jets only come into play when it's open throttle. This is an idle issue.
Hmm.
So I tried a lot of shit before I drilled the butterflies.
I bet.
So just so you know, I spent days, multiple days trying to get this working, and I'm sure my neighbors loved it. With me sitting there having the car idling terribly and sputtering and banging, and me revving the crap out of it, and all sorts of stuff for hours at end. Yeah. Hell yeah. I know. I love driving the GT4 Ferrari events. I love being the turd in the punch bowl. There's no
What
rule about you have to bring a Ferrari to a Ferrari event. Unless it's one of the corporate Ferrari events, then you do.
No, I can see that.
But the Ferrari club events, no.
I mean, hell, I don't even have a Ferrari, and I'm in the club, so
Ooh.
they
Yeah.
don't care.
I didn't even have a car when I used to go with Dan.
Yeah.
They let me in.
Oh, you got the Rosso Venezia.
Yeah, what color is that?
That's that purple color that Hoovy's 599 is.
Oh.
No offense, I do not like that color. It's strange. It looks weird in person.
Yeah. With only two, that's cool.
Looks like wine, huh?
It's like a purplish, weird color, and the thing is, in the right sunlight, it looks kind of brown.
Yeah, it's got like a brown metallic or something in it.
Yeah, it's strange. I do not like it.
It's like a wine left out overnight.
It does
What
look
percentage
brown.
of my tools are from Harbor Freight? At home, I have a decent number of Harbor Freight tools. At the shop, it's far less. I would say like, honestly, I mean, probably 3%. It's some of the like one-off tools are Harbor Freight stuff. The vast majority of it are gear wrench at the shop. At home, I have Craftsman tools I've owned for like 30 years. So, like they just don't break.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I should EFI my car. I'm if I'm the more and more I'm realizing I'm probably going to keep that car for a long time, the more and more I'm very much considering swapping it to EFI. Just be like done with it. I don't think what I didn't own a Mercy. You're talking about the Mercy we had in like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Yeah, long story.
It was 2.5 years ago.
Mhm.
Come on.
It might be 3 now.
Actually,
Wait,
I probably.
if Greg and Tyler did their job properly this weekend, none of us would have been driving Ferraris.
Yeah. Do you want me to crash into you? Like what?
What are you talking about?
Come on, John. How much have you had to drink tonight?
What was the job they were supposed to do?
Convince everyone to buy McLarens and Hondas?
Oh, yeah. Oh
Yes.
God, I actually wrote down stuff that I wanted to talk about, and I haven't gotten to any of those things.
You got 9 minutes.
Tyler.
Go.
All right. Oh, the shop. We've had the shop for a year now. It's the 1 year anniversary of our opening of the
Awesome.
shop approaching, which also coincides with F1. So Josh and I were talking about, should we, number one, host a F1 / 1 year anniversary party, and two, when?
Mm.
Because we're thinking maybe it'd be fun to do it during F1, but F1's crazy. But at the same time, that's when there would be people from out of town potentially that want to come see the stub.
Yep.
So I don't know. The other thing that's happened that's weird that will possibly interfere with that is people like the GT40 and they want it at events. So there's 2 events already that the GT40 is booked at during
Nice.
They're
F1.
paying you?
One of them's paid.
Sweet.
Heck
It's-
yeah.
I'm actually getting paid to bring the GT40 to an event, which I was like,
Hell yeah.
okay. It's not much money, but whatever. I don't care. I mean, it's better than not getting paid. But yeah. So there's 2 events already, so that does make it so I don't have as much availability. But you know, the problem is like, when do you host something, whatever you call it?
Yeah. And there's already so many other parties.
Yeah, there's so much
Every
stuff
day
going
that
on.
week, there's stuff going on.
Yep.
So if we don't host it during F1 week, it's going to be local people pretty much only. If we do host it during F1 week, because also we're not exactly close to F1, we're probably an hour away from the track.
More than that with traffic. Yeah.
With traffic, more than an hour, yeah. So like, if you did it after, I don't know, qualifying, it would be very late at night.
Yeah, because
That was
isn't
what we did.
qualifying late too at the US at the Austin race? Like in the
It
past few
ends
years,
at
it's
like,
been
doesn't it end at like 5 or 6?
yeah, I think so.
And so like we did that previously where we had F1 parties at the Howard, and even then it took people over an hour to get to the Howard.
Yeah, those don't really kick off until 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So
Unless you did a pre-party like a day, like 10 a.m.
But who wants to get up at 10 a.m. come?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're
30.
doing something probably.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, I guess everyone who's going to the race, they don't want to be that far away from the track.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, that's a thought. It's a
like the exact
possibility.
opposite corner of Austin. So
Yeah. So if we don't do an F1 party, we'd still like to host some sort of like anniversary party, because I'd love it to be like an annual thing. I'd love to have it be like every year we do a, basically, hey, thanks for helping us make this thing work.
Yeah,
give
that was
back to the
awesome. That
community.
grand opening. That was a great weekend.
That was fun.
yeah, what
Very fun.
weekend was that? That
It was in
grand opening
October. I think it was 2 weeks before F1 last year.
party? Okay.
Was it the weekend I came?
You came, right?
It was the grand opening that I came for. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was like a week or 2 before F1.
Hmm.
It was in October for sure. So I think I'd like to do it again in October, because that's usually when weather's cooperating. So that takes care of those things. Somewhat related, we're debating having a drive in Texas sometime in October or November. So maybe that's what we could do, is we could have
Yeah.
a stub party and then after the party, or maybe like the next day, we all drive to an undisclosed location at which we have a very large house of a friend of ours who's opened it up to be able to park potentially like 10 plus people, and then do some drives. So that would probably be more of an invite thing only, or you'd have to be at least known, a known person, not just some rando.
Especially to open up someone else's house to them. That'd
Right.
be
Right.
awkward. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. Anyway, we're still trying to figure that one out. And then of course, Tail of the Dragon next year. We want to do Tail of the
Really?
Dragon. I'm thinking probably May. Because
Okay.
May or June.
Hmm.
I think you want to do it before school really lets up. Before like full summer, because then it's gonna be busy. But you want to do it after like the rainy season and whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway. Oh, the the SVRA comes, is that October? Or it's usually November. That could be, maybe that's what we do, is we tie in a party SVRA week.
That'd be interesting.
Like a smaller race.
I love the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association. That is some cool stuff.
There you go. And then you could all go to that, right?
Yeah, I
You want
really,
to-
really enjoy that racing. It's really fun.
There can't be that much traffic going to that, right?
No, you can just,
Yeah, it's easy.
you just get there, and that
That seems like a
stuff's
better
really
bet.
cool because you can just walk around the pits and
Yeah.
see everything. Yeah, I bet late October is a very good
yeah.
time with the fall leaves, but
Yep.
I have a suspicion that's probably very busy.
Did you see the Killboy pictures today?
No.
Apparently, someone in a Jeep was flashing the photographers,
Oh.
like standing up in the Jeep. And
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I'll be in Colorado when the tour was supposed to happen, so
Oh yeah.
I'll have a
Yeah.
beer in your
You'll get
guys' honor.
You should go do some drives while you're out there.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be all wedding related stuff.
Oh, that's no fun.
I know. Up in Vail. We are driving
Lord.
from Denver to Vail, so
Good lord, my phone is blowing the fuck up. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Would love to JS, but need wife's green light. I'm assuming that's wife.
yep.
yeah, my wife.
My wife. She's very nice. Links or didn't happen.
Just look up Killboy on Instagram.
Who's that, the photographer?
Yeah. Yep. In your opinion, is it better to get a high spec car with higher mileage and maybe an accent, or a clean no accent with low mile car and lower spec? I mean, I generally try to avoid accents just because they're harder to sell, but that's because I'm a dealer. If you're buying one to keep, I don't think accents are a big deal. You can get good deals because of accents, but just make sure it was built properly. I personally want a high spec car. I would take a high spec, high mile car over a low spec, low mile car any day. Because
Knowing that it's gonna be harder to sell, right?
the high mile is not necessarily harder to sell.
No, the accident.
The accident is a harder to sell. I mean, if there was no accident, I would take high spec, high mile over low spec, low mile. If there's an accident and it's high spec, high mile, now it's questionable, right? But again, that's me as a dealer. If I'm buying one as a person, I don't care. Like if I'm not going to sell it for a long time,
Yeah,
but just you got to bake in the accident factor, especially on a Ferrari or supercar, because people get all butthurt as soon as it's been an accident. But yeah, I it sounds weird, but the more and more cars I see, the more and more I appreciate the high spec cars, because I just like the uniqueness that they offer and some of the cool things that they do. Even though like it's all just eye candy. You know, like the high spec stuff. It's not like it makes it perform better or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just more visually appealing. Yeah. So that's just me.
Yep.
All right. It is past bedtime. So, thanks everyone for joining us. I don't have any videos in the can. I'm sorry. I'm behind. This has been a week of do things that make money, trump videos that don't make money. So I haven't filmed hardly anything. I filmed last Thursday. Some of you guys said, "Hey, you should film some of the stuff of what it's like to actually just run a dealership," right? So I filmed on Wednesday. I haven't edited it yet, but a video of just like what it's like, what we do every day.
Cool.
So just kind of filmed the day. So it's kind of like a day in the life of Dan. So I'll get that video out hopefully over the weekend. I don't know. This weekend is a weird weekend because it's a holiday weekend, and Meg and I have been planning this for months. It is potty training weekend, which I know
really?
Tyler knows all about.
Yeah.
What?
We listened to a book driving back from Pittsburgh.
When we were driving back from
That's
Pittsburgh,
when you got your education in, Dan?
Yeah, I know how to
listening
potty
to
train children now.
an audiobook about how to potty train my child.
Good luck with that.
It's super entertaining, I'm sure. Help me out with the narrative, Dan. I'm going down to Texas to visit a YouTube car guy I like. No, you're coming down to Texas to see car shit.
Yeah,
Don't
vintage
have to
car
mention
racing.
YouTube. It's car stuff. I'm sure you're a car person, and your wife knows you're a car person, so you're going to do car stuff.
This guy you talk to every Thursday night, you're going to meet him.
You've got
He's
all
real.
of these. I've got all of these friends in Texas that have cars
There you go.
that I've never met before.
Yeah. He's gonna go get converted to Ferraris and McLarens off this Porsche crap. So,
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. That's it for this week. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
And have a good one.
See y'all.
Bye.